This video demonstrates how to visualize and store measurements inside TBC version 360. Here's the VX dataset from one of our tutorials on working with scanned data, and for the purpose of this exercise we will turn off the total station observation vectors. Next we will launch the measure distance command, and notice that in addition to the 2 points and radial option, now we have a sequential option as well. Let's select points we want to measure from and measure to, and notice that now the measurements value display in real time as we are making the measurements. You can pick any other 2-point pairs, and now we also show you the result in this window here, as well as the history of your measurements down below. The sequential option gives you ability to measure in a sequential order, like if you want to get a distance across a traverse. And you can see now your total distance here on this measurement. And the radial option gives you ability to select a central point and simply measure a distance from a central point. The new cool option to save is especially valuable if you're working in 3D. So if you're measuring distance between 2 points in 3D view, so let's say you want to get distance from the top of this stockpile to this point, station 100. Notice that in 3D view now you can see the slope distance, the vertical and the horizontal clearance between any two selected points. In addition to that, you can now choose to save that information. So if you hit save, you can choose to give your measurement a name. So you can call this my measurement, and you can assign it to any layer, give it any color you want, and you can choose which one you want to save, the slope distance, the horizontal, or the vertical. So in this case, let's say we want to save the horizontal distance and hit save. This will save your measurement, and you will be able to see your stored measurements in the Project Explorer under stored measurements. You can always select that measurement, and in the properties window you can change any of the properties such as name, layer, or color. So in this case you want to change it to magenta, and instead of displaying horizontal we want to display the slope, and you can close that window, and now you can see we are displaying the slope distance between the two selected points. The same principle applies to the angles as well. So if you toggle this command down, you can choose measure angle, and if you select your starting point here on top of the stockpile, your midpoint or pivot point, and your end point, you can visualize the measurements as well as save those measurements again as angle measurements. Choose your color, and you can choose some of the angular options here and choose save. And again, note now that you have another angle measurement here under the stored measurement node. That concludes our video on visualizing and storing measurements inside TBC version 360.